Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for December 16th, 2019. Q's up 1%, SPY up 0.7. Not really too much to go over here. We have been just following this hourly uptrend. Looks like we had potential for a pullback in the market, maybe some sustained selling. But ever since a couple weeks ago, where that opportunity proved to not follow through, we've been bullish. And the bullishness has just continued. We're just seeing kind of new highs here again today. Just like last week, we're a couple setups away from any kind of potential change from the bullish bias. So, we'll just continue to watch the market, see if the market fails on any kind of buy setup or bullish pattern, and then after that we would start looking for a bearish pattern. So as far as kind of line in the sand to be bearish, we'd have to get something pretty significant, trend changing kind of gap or drop or something. For right now, just looks higher. Okay, so the bullishness remains. Yeah, just continuation. Larger time frames are all in alignment now. That's been really the key, I think, over the last couple weeks. Why our bullish bias hasn't changed. It's just the time frame alignment has been there. Now that the hourly, the daily, the weekly, the monthly are all back to uptrend, and really the weekly, monthly never really broke. We were just watching the hourly, the shorter time frames to see if we were going to get something lower, and we sure didn't. All right. All right, so I'm going to go over a setup with you today. I wish I could say I could have called and played this, but this is the gap disease. Now, we have played it in the last couple weeks multiple times, but for some reason, yeah, this morning kind of just slipped by me there on the AMRN. But this is the gap berry, specifically coming from all-time highs, okay? So typically when these come from all-time highs and then they bury the gap, they provide a very powerful opportunity for short. Usually they close at or near the lows. Okay, so here it is. You can see it tried to go higher and then got reversed. Did a little bit of a retracement there. There's your sell setup. There's another sell setup. There's a breakdown. Eventually, I guess it did find a bottom there, right? But that's after multiple decent entries, right? So if you've taken the turnaround trader formula, we've gone over why these typically act like this, where kind of the power or the trap traders, right, that need to get out, what happens there. So one that I remember from really recently that reminded me to really pay attention to where these gap bears are coming from was this HELE, right? So when we look at this HELE gap and then we take a look at the AMRN gap from today, right? The similarities are there. They're starting to get a little bit novice. That's all-time highs. So they typically don't care that much about support and end up closing here right at the lows, right? So this HELE. And I remember when this HELE happened and I kind of saw the shred bars, like, maybe it wasn't that good of a play. Did I miss something about this? When I was reviewing it at the end of the day, and seeing that it was coming from all-time highs, I was like, all right, this is gap disease, a very specific type of gap berry. And I remember after that, it wasn't maybe a day or two later that we got this TSM here, so which gapped up to all-time highs and then got sold hard. We talked about on Friday this VNCE, which you can see right here. And this is too thin, was too thin for me to play. But the setup was there. Again, gapping up. I think this is multi-year highs, not quite all-time highs. Multi-year highs. A little bit novice. And how much did it care about this support? Not at all, right? Because these traders who were in this long thought they had a lot of profit, that this was going to be a nice run-up. And some, I'm sure, were disappointed as soon as it got sold and saw that profit quickly evaporate. So, these events that lead to these really huge red bars, right, allow us to get in the play, get some nice profit, and potentially hold some, right, to see for the bigger move, right? On last week, I guess it was last Friday, we also played this DTIL. Same concept here, right? Played this in the afternoon for a breakdown. You can see it's getting novice, gaps up, all-time highs, and then gets rejected. You can see how much it sold. I remember when we played it, it was down 35, 37% already. Someone asked me, isn't that down too much to want to play short? I said, this is the kind of thing that will close at the lows. I think ended up being down 40 plus, almost 50% by the end of the day. So, this on the AMRN, I bring this up and we're going over it here because I think I need it, given that I missed a pretty good play here. But I think it's always good to also, recap why we've been playing these, right, as of late. So I really like this setup. I like the reversal a lot. Typically give us a lot of, you could say, room for error, even if you get out early, or get out late even, they're going to close typically near the lows. Okay, so that was the gap berry. And I'm bringing it up too because I think as the market approaches more likely all-time highs through the rest of the year into next year, I think we'll see more really good gap disease plays with good follow-through. Okay, so I thought AMRN, a bit of a missed opportunity for me today on this one, but you can expect that if we get one tomorrow, rest of the week, I will be prepared. Okay, so hopefully you had a nice day today. If you took Sammy's play, should have done pretty well. Some nice setups. I wouldn't be surprised if we slow down a little bit into the next couple weeks as the year kind of winds down and the holidays come around. But as long as we're ready and we know what we're looking for, right, just trade accordingly. Okay? All right, that'll do it for today's market wrap. Hope you had a nice day. We will be back at it tomorrow. Have a good evening.